Welcome back to Grit Gym, guys. This is the Rachel and Adam Show, where we talk about all things health related to your relationships. And recently, Rachel went and got an assessment done with Tony Gentilcore when we were out in Boston, and I got an assessment done with Eric Cressy, and you guys can go and see these videos. But we're gonna talk a little bit about why she got the assessment, who Tony is, why I wanted her to get an assessment from somebody besides me. Did you want to get a second opinion because you didn't trust
No,
my
it wasn't
opinion?
about that because it was your idea in the first place for me to go.
I know, I'm kidding.
So,
yeah, I mean, unless you're in the strength and conditioning world, you probably don't know who a lot of the big shots are in strength and conditioning, so that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But now you know.
But I had listened to his interview.
Yeah, it's probably like 8-9 months ago. We interviewed Tony Gentilcore on the show, talked about strength and conditioning with general population versus athletes. It's a really good interview. Really gave us a lot of.
Yeah, it was a good one.
A lot of gems, a lot of really good stuff in that.
But what I got from it is like he is a squatting expert, like deadlifting. He's
loves
really into deadlifting.
Deadlifting.
That's what everybody at Cressy was like. Oh, you're going to see Tony? Oh, he loves deadlifting.
Tony's fantastic. A lot of attention to detail. Really smart guy. He does a very good job of translating the information of high level strength and conditioning stuff down to general population layman speak.
So why did you want me to go to him?
Why did I want you to go to Tony and get an assessment, even though you'd been working at Grit Gym for a while, let's say? You're getting some funky stuff going on with your hip, and you've always had that thing in your upper back.
I'm super hypermobile.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, I don't carry myself very well. Like, I don't use good movement patterns. Like, I sit in weird positions.
When you stand for a long period of time, you tend to kind of hang back on the passive restrictions of your body.
Yeah, and I don't think it was a problem before because I was just kind of up and about all the time. Mm-hmm. And then as I was sitting more often, I noticed I didn't say anything to him at first because it wasn't bad. It's not like a horrible pain. It's not something that is keeping me from walking. It's just like a constant So I think for me, figuring out a way to address the problem and not ignore it, because at the gym, I hear people talk about hip replacements and knee replacements, and you've talked about it on your show before, and it's always something that you don't really think about until it happens to you. When you have an injury.
It's 30 years coming. It's not something that happens. But
I mean, it can happen when you're young too, like an athlete.
Most of the time, it's preventable. And most of the 45 plus or 55 plus age group that comes into Grit Gym, they usually at some point tell me, if I just would have met you 20 years ago, they'd been like, should have come in.
So I had that in the back of my head. Like, I don't want like a magical treatment. I want an internal dialogue that I can tell myself every day what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing.
Because prevention's always going to outdo. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I mean, even now, what I got out of that was just, I mean, I hear it from Adam all the time, but sometimes hearing it from your boyfriend, even though he knows what he's talking about, I just wasn't listening like I should.
And who knows? Like, and I went there wondering, how does Tony do it? Like, I picked up, what can I learn from Tony? How
it was a learning experience for you too.
I saw it as a win-win-win from across the board. A win for our clients, a win for me, a win for you. It just seemed like a no-brainer to do. We were already out there.
So the giant thing that I think I got out of this whole experience was the stability. I'm hypermobile. I think a lot of people don't think that being hypermobile is like it can be bad.
They look at it like a badge of honor.
It can be good.
If there's plenty of people that have way too much flexibility to get. Someone was asking me this last night. I said they asked me, do you do yoga? And I'm like, no, I'm way too flexible to be doing yoga. And they're like, what do you mean? I thought being flexible is really good for you. And it's like, well, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just comes with its own pros and cons.
It can be. My hip joint is pretty important. If I want to be able to walk, I'm going to have to create a lot of strength in that hip. So since then, I've really...
Plus you want that big old butt.
Yeah. I've been taking time to go through my workouts with like the thought, like looking at the video, I can see when my hips are going like this, that's probably not good if I'm on one leg. So stability, and then my internal dialogue as far as you'll see in the video, I'm doing deadlifts. He wanted to like really hit hard on that.
But anyway, it went really well. It seemed like you were having a good time. I knew you and Tony were going to hit it off anyway because you're both goofballs.
Hopefully it makes sense to you guys. I just want you to see like what it looks like for going into assessment.
Real quick, were you nervous walking in there?
I wouldn't say no. I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd already watched you do it.
Yeah.
It was like a nervous, excited kind of thing.
Because I think people get nervous to walk into a grit gym and get an assessment. I think it's kind of nerve-wracking for them.
Well, yeah. But if you're going to somebody who knows what they're talking about, you can get excited for what you might get out of that.
So
if your pain level can go down just by talking to someone and having them tell you these little tweaks will help you, then why not? Why wouldn't you want?
And it's amazing how often people come in for an assessment, and it is like, or they call me up for a strategy session or whatever. We get on the phone, we talk about a few things, and how much just tiny little tweaks to their program make a huge difference.
If they weren't exercising because of an injury or because they weren't good at something, but they were doing it wrong the whole time, then that would have been a detriment to their ability to enjoy it.
There's two things. They have to get the right exercise. They have to be doing it appropriate for their body. But without that assessment, we would just be flying blind. It's a big deal. So people that don't have an assessment, never go to that person. So you always want to go to a person like Tony who does an assessment up front.
Okay, hope you guys enjoy the video. You can follow Tony on Instagram. What's his? I think it's just Tony Gentilcore. Yeah, and we'll link it down below so that you guys can check that out.
All right, and hopefully Tony watches this. So I'm sure you show up good on camera, man. I've heard it adds. I've heard it adds like 10 pounds to each bicep. Anyway, enjoy the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and
see you later.
We'll see you later.
Okay, so it's just like general badassery.
Yeah.
Now, as far as today, like your goal for coming in today, like what are you hoping to get out of it?
Maybe like some exercises to figure out, like, just, I mean, the hip thing. What I'm worried about is if it gets worse, or if I'm doing something that's making it worse.
The hip is kind of the main point today. Then.
Yeah. Sometimes when I walk, I'm not using it as I should, but I know I'm not.
So even without not looking at your shoulders without your shirt on, or with your shirt on, I can see you're a little bit shruggy on that side. Meaning when you come up, if you like to do this.
Okay.
Like upper trap down, right? Yeah. So a lot of times, it's going to be cueing you not to use this guy a lot. If you're like this all day at work, I wouldn't be surprised.
Like throughout the day, I noticed that I get more and more like this.
Yeah, tissue. It's called tissue creep.
Okay.
So you have good intentions, like, oh, I'm gonna be in good posture, and then after 2 hours, you've been like this for
kind of like insane how much I can get into the wall.
So what I want you to do is you're gonna put your hand on that glue, and I want you to make sure you get that glue fire. So bring that leg up. You should feel a little divot when you bring it up. You feel that divot? Okay, that's good. Put yourself on that one arm. Yep. And bring your head up for me. Okay. Straight out that leg. Right there. Good. So glutes are on. Take it off a little bit. Okay. Flex those kneecaps. Now I want you to do 5 breathing reps. So inhale through the nose. And I want you to blow down that wall. Look at the wall that's facing in front of you. Yeah, there we go. That's just ego then. For your challenge. Okay. Do you feel that in the right spot? Where do you feel that? Okay, in there. Okay. So what I want you to do, which I think might be, is we'll just try to clean it up a little bit. That's actually pretty darn good. You got your butt back. I want you to reach to the wall in front of you. That's going to help you get back even further. Now, when you're doing this exercise, I don't know what you're telling yourself to do. Are you telling yourself to reach, or are you telling yourself to push away? Maybe you haven't even thought about
push away.
Okay, that's what I want. That's perfect. And stop. Good. Feel that? So to me, that would be your warm-up. Yeah, perfect. So you can see how this would be a valuable exercise where you are supported, but we're training stability on that right side. Yeah, and your pelvis is staying nice and centered. It's good. Okay, one more. Okay, rack it. give me an idea of like what your inner dialogue is as far as like what are you telling yourself during your setup?
Okay, so keep my feet out, like press the ground away, keep my knees out, chest up, look forward.
Okay.
Shoulders back.
Okay. I like them all.
Sometimes I forget to breathe though.
You just hold your breath the whole time.
Yeah.
And you are going to have more of a forward knee, which
Yeah.
is fine. So
Okay.
I mean, and with a squat, it is. I understand where people are going with like trying to sit back,
Yeah.
but with the squat, we're trying to sit down.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
equal. It's equal parts knees coming forward,
Yeah.
hips going back, with
Yeah.
the end result being down. So the cue for you now isn't so much to sit back and to hinge back, but it's to like, yes, spread the floor. I like that
Okay.
cue. If that works for you, that's great. But then also just think about sitting down into your squat and like more so pulling yourself down into the squat. Just for shits and giggles, let's play with this first
Okay.
and bring your arms out just a little bit. And what I want you to think about right out of the gate is I want you to think about trying to touch your elbows together.
Okay.
So now you're tight. Good. Okay. So I want you to unrack the bar. Good. 2 steps back. 1, 2. Okay. Now before you squat, I want you to find even weight distribution on your feet. So you're not too far on your toes, you're not too far on your heels. I want even weight. Now I want you to maintain that even weight pressure or even foot pressure as you squat. And I want you to think about squatting down, pushing those knees out. Slow, pull yourself down to that squat. Okay? Keep that even weight, even weight, even weight. Yeah, there we go. Good. Slow it down for me, right? Be a little bit more aggressive pushing those knees out. Good. 2 more. Nice. Good. So I want you to relax a little bit. I want you to do 3 reps again. When you're ready. Get those knees out. Good. Now get your hips. Do you feel those hamstrings? Get them up and back a little bit. You feel them even more? No, up and back. Pull the bar into you. Pull the bar into you. You feel those hamstrings even more now? Is that even more?
Yeah.
That's the tension I want.
Okay.
That's way better. Okay? Now go ahead and do a rep. Yep. Good. Reset, get those shoulders back. Find those hamstrings. There we go. Nice, Rachel. Good. Get those knees out. There you go, right there. Nice. Awesome. Relax. That's what I mean by tension.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be a lot of work to get in that get all that tension, because you cannot be passive in that bottom
If
position.
not, you're looking with your back.
Yeah, you're gonna. That's where it's like, oh, I feel it in my back, or I feel it like no. If you do it, if you get that wedge and you get that tension right after, like that's what you're gonna use to push yourself away from that.
Oh yeah, because it's a leg workout, it's not a back workout.
Well, your back's in there too,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't.
I do feel it like right here.
That's great. I'd rather you feel it in your upper back than your lower back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.